We're on the road trip. We've got to run south about 100 miles, a little over 100 miles. We're running south down into Columbia, South Carolina. Got to go over to a real estate office, believe that. We're picking up another mobile home. It's a 14 by 60, 2-bedroom, 1 bath. You'll probably see clips of it in this video. A little walk around that I did the other day. It's basically a tax property that was bought by another company, and they flip tax properties, tax sale properties. So I bought it from them, and I've got to run down here and pay for it. The trick is down there in the county I'm in, I've got to have 30 years or newer. So every year you lose a year, basically. So like this year's 2023, so I can have a 93. Next year will be 24, so I'll have to have a 94. So it's a running 30 years. And most everywhere else in the state and in the neighboring states is 76. So if they're 76 to today, you can move them. Well, in the county that I happen to be in, it's not like that. So it's kind of hard to find one that's only 30 years old that is still somewhat livable and is in good enough shape to be moved and is in the price range that I want. So you either get one that is tore all to hell for nothing and you're scared to move it, or you get one that is perfect and it's, you know, the price of a new one today. So I'm trying to do a little juggling act here, getting one straight down the middle. It's got a good price on it and it's still fixable, or relatively fixable. Another thing was a must. I must have central air and heat. You don't necessarily need central air and heat. You need central heat, but not central air and heat. So I'm looking at central heat is, you have central heat in one. You just take the heating unit out and put your central air and heat in it. So you'll be fine. But a lot of them back in that time frame did not have heat or air. You use baseboard heaters and you use window units. And the window units is what tear up the drywall around the windows, and it also tears up the flooring because your condensation is dripping off the windows the whole time. And if you don't have the air conditioner leaned back just perfect, the water runs inside instead of outside, and you got kids in there playing with it, hanging on it, it tilts it up and leaks in the floor, and then you rot the floor out. So you've got to watch that. You got to watch the floor. You've got to watch the right in front of them windows. So there's going to be 3 or 4 windows, or 3 or 4 spots in the floor in the windows that are tore up because the it had window units in it. So that's just part of it. You've got to deal with that. And then you're going to have you got the expense of putting a new central air and heat unit in it, which you save about $3,000 if you can find one with the ductwork already in it for heat. You can just convert it over to central air and heat, which the heater in these things cost about I don't know, maybe $1,500, and the air conditioner cost about $1,200 or $1,400. So you're about $3,000 all in on the heating and air. But if you've got to put ductwork, you're at $6,000. So, you know, you double the price basically. So there's a big savings there if you just sit back and buy one that's already got central heat in it. So that's what I did. I've been kind of picky about it. I've been trying to find one that had central heat. And then I got to find something 93 or newer. And then I've got to find something relatively close where I can move it, where the moving don't kill me. Moving them, they cost you about, I'd have to figure it up. It's about, $7 a mile, something like that, on average. $7 or $8 a mile, but that don't work on short hauls. If they're hauling it under 100 miles, it's about the same price. It's going to be $3,000 to $5,000 under 100 miles. If you go over 100 miles, it starts getting exponentially higher quickly. So they're detouring me off of 77 here, and I've got to go around and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna get back on my GPS to make sure I know where I'm going, but we'll pick it up when we get back down closer to where we're at. Oldest place I've ever been in. Hopefully it didn't break. Okay, y'all, we have went to about 110 miles that way and bought a trailer. Then I had to go 60 miles that way to pick up after I bought the trailer, got the paperwork, I had to go 60 miles that way to buy a moving permit. So you've got to go and basically pay the taxes another year on the piece of property or on the mobile home. And then you got to ask for permission to move it. So after you pay your money and there's no debt on it per se, they say, okay, now you have the ability to move it. So I had to pay, damn, I forgot. I think it was $30 to move it. So I had to pay $30 to get to move it. And then I had to drive all the way back, another 100 miles back this way to come up here to the DMV because it's basically a vehicle. So I had to come all the way back up here to the DMV and have it put in my name. And now I've got to go to my courthouse up here in the county that I'm in to go and have the tax assessor look at it and charge me taxes on it again because it's coming into this county. So make sure everybody gets their money. And basically, if you don't do this, the problem is if you don't do it, like I've been telling you guys, I've got to be a 93 or above. So if I don't do it right now and I screw around for say 6 months, 8 months before I do it, like I don't have to come up here and tell them I moved it. They'll find out next year that I moved it. And when they do, they'll say, oh, by the way, your trailer's too old to be in the county. So, yeah, you need to move it. You're not allowed in it, and condemn it and kick me out of the county. Kick that trailer out of the county. So I'm going to go do it now. And that way I don't have to pay no penalties. I don't have to worry about no bad blood between anybody. I don't have to worry about none of this stuff. And it'll be done. I've got the moving paperwork here. I've got the title here. I've got another big thing of paperwork here. So there's all kinds of paperwork that you've got to do. It's going to take me all day to do this. I left the house, well, I left work at 10:50 this morning, and it is now about 4 o'clock, and I'm still not done. And I've drove this truck 300 miles. So anyway, I'll get back when I get out of here and tell you what they say. Okay, y'all. This is crazy. So I went in there and showed them all the paperwork. They first charged me $25 for a tax sticker because the other counties already charged me the taxes, so they couldn't charge me the taxes. They said it was going to be, the next charge was going to be 2024, so we got a year. before we got to pay taxes. They said that, so I got that done. And that took, I've been in there an hour. So that took a while. So, charged me $25 for that. Then they sent me across the hall. And they charged me $130 for $130 for permit fees, and then told me I could do everything myself. So it's kind of crazy, but got that done. So first you go find a mobile home, then you buy it. You got to take that paperwork to their county, whatever their county is, if it's not the same as yours. Take it to their county, have their county give you a permit to move it out of their county. Go to your county that's going to and have them look at it and get your title and all back in your name instead of the seller's name. Then after you do that, you go to the courthouse in your county and get your little medallion for the window. So that's what cost me $35, a little medallion, or $25. And then you got to go to the building inspector, because they've got to inspect it once they put it on the piers and get it chained down or locked down or hurricane straps or whatever you want to call those things, and blocked up. Then you got to put decks on front and back. They got to inspect those. And then you got to run the electrical line. They've got to inspect it. You got to run your sewer connection. They got to inspect it. You got to run your water connection. They got to inspect it. So you got to pay them for that inspection, which in my county was $130. So if they got to re-inspect, it's $50. And if they got to re-inspect a second time, it's $75. The third time is $100. The fourth time, I believe, is $200. So you don't want them coming out there too often. But in my county, you're not allowed to rent or sell it for 2 years if you do it yourself. So we're going to have a licensed contractor to do it and get it all done, but we should be good to go. So we got everything done with it. All the paperwork's done. It's all in my name. Now all I got to do is get it moved. And it's supposed to move in 3 days. So we'll see. 4 days. We'll see.